Hey everyone, welcome to the Creature Kid channel. I'm Adam, and today we're talking about Haunted House Party, an upcoming movie that we're building a couple puppets for that we're really excited about. This video is just focusing on one of the characters, which is a pumpkin head creature, right? Luke glances down at the sketch pad and sees their grotesque pumpkin head monster, Samhain. Now, when they came to us with this script, obviously we break it down. What are the functions of the puppet? What does it need to do? And is there anything design-wise written into the script?
Yeah, I think this is just, I mean, the sculpt is the most time-consuming thing. Everything else I just want to blast out. I even think we might just do the head. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it out of really thin silicone. I don't want to. I think it should be latex, maybe, or just some kind of nice polyfoam.
For the time and budget of this project, we eliminated the concept design phase. Usually we draw out sketches, we kind of go back and forth on like, what should this thing look like? Instead of that, we just jump right into clay and I design it as I'm sculpting.
I don't know.
Yeah?
How far apart do you want like these eyes and everything?
I don't know.
Oh, it's too high up.
Just get some markers. I mean, we're gonna wing it.
Yeah.
Just take the picture that's in my brain and just make it look like that. Okay. We first start with how big is this thing, right? We already kind of knew it was around 3 feet wide, 2.5, 3 feet wide. So we build a giant armature using 2x4s and 4x4s and making a ball of chicken wire to support the amount of clay. We here at Creature Kid have been doing a ton of digital sculpting. For certain jobs, we kind of pick and choose what we do digital and what we do traditional. I think it's good to like sculpt a portrait, right? Because then you're sculpting something you see, but then you're like, why does it look wrong? So then you're training yourself how to make it look like something you see, right?
Yeah.
And then you start going, all right, well then now I see it in my head. I don't have reference directly in front of me like I would. So then how do I make it look like that, right? Sitting at a computer working on stuff really drains you and it gets boring, but then sculpting in clay gets boring and you're sick of being dirty and you're sick of the mess and you're moving, hundreds of pounds of clay around. So for this one, it doesn't need to be an animatronic, so we don't need any inner mechanisms, so it seemed like clay was a great way to approach this character. Now for this, we're using water-based clay from Laguna called WED Clay. That's what we use for most of our large-scale sculptures because it's cheap, it's easy to sculpt in, you kind of blast out something really fast. This sculpture, we had about, I would say, in whole, a week and a half of sculpting from start to finish. A couple days just blocking out our main form, pounding in a basic pumpkin shape, pounding in like, okay, eyes, mouth there. The idea was start with a traditional jack-o'-lantern head. Got in. Let's, I mean, are the eyes even? Are they uneven? Are they cattywonk? What's a mask noses look like? I mean, I would say maybe the noses are kind of protruding. Let's just start like, give me a human nose. There was one aspect in the script that I thought was really fascinating was it absorbs a person and their face appears on the pumpkin. And that just triggered my brain into, it's kind of like a John Carpenter's The Thing pumpkin, right? It's absorbing people and the people's faces are turning into a component of this pumpkin head.
So for like this big flat surface, would you hit this with the mallet just to get a little bit more shapes, or?
I mean, that flat surface is kind of cool. I don't mind it.
Okay.
Maybe something here, tuck some there. Like this should be interesting. A big blobs, maybe there's like a nice crack in here. Drawing some circles. I think that's a few that wants to be. And then start incorporating the faces and the teeth and what's happening where, right? And kind of working section by section. All right, always doing U's. See, if you look at it, it's just a bunch of U's turned in different directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's curly. It's starting to feel curly and swirly, right? You got a kidney bean here. You got this cool kind of swirl there. This is like a big C. This is a sideways C. That's like an upside down C, right? Kind of turn it. It's like swirl, swirl. C here. I already knew I wanted the mouth of the pumpkin to be a bunch of human mouths. And as it kind of started developing, every section of gums and human teeth looks like a big like tooth of this face. It's just working within the sections of a pumpkin, the triangle of a nose of the pumpkin. And then we just combine a bunch of human noses within that section. But like when you stand back and squint, you can kind of see a pointy triangle shape. And the eyes are kind of triangle shapes, but what's like interesting and tucking, and they're like stretched mouths with faces everywhere. And his little stem is just a bunch of like fingers curled up, you know? Sometimes it's just fun to just design while you sculpt and to just think things through while you're pushing the clay around and standing back and squinting, and finding the shapes that really complement each other, and just seeing a design kind of unfold as you work on the final piece. Your brain kind of shuts off and you kind of get in the zone of just discovering weird and interesting things as you work. So with this sculpture, once we have it done and once we detail out our wet clay and we baby powder it and we polish it and make all the wrinkles nice and pretty, for our next video we'll be hopping into mold making of this creature. For this, we're going to be doing a big 2-part fiberglass mold because of the size and the timeline we have. We have to get the mold done in one day. So we're just going to do a big fiberglass mold, wrestle it open, clean it out, and this character is just going to be latex and polyfoam. And then we'll start playing with how does this face move? How do we go about painting this thing? How should the coloring be of this character? And then designing the body and how is this going to perform in a movie. For the small amount of time that it is featured in this movie, right? That's also a factor. But I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.